Hello and welcome to the Spirit Talk series season 2 presented by the Pramerica Spirit of Community Awards. I am your host Richa Anirudh और अब तो हम सब लोग जानते हैं Pramerica Spirit of Community Awards पिछले 11 साल से ऐसे स्टूडेंट वॉलंटियर्स को रिकॉग्नाइज और अवार्ड करते आ रहे हैं जो समाज की बेहतरी के लिए कोई काम कर रहे हो. These are young students of our country who are working very hard to bring about a positive change around us. तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स के काम के बारे में जानना, समझना और उन्हें वो सम्मान देना जिसके वो हकदार हैं. और स्पिरिट टॉक्स में हम ऐसे ही स्टूडेंट वॉलंटियर्स से बात करते हैं जो प्रेमेरिका स्पिरिट ऑफ कम्युनिटी अवार्ड्स के सफर का हिस्सा पहले रहे हैं और साथ ही हमारे साथ हर बार जुड़ते हैं एक खास मेहमान जो यंग है एंड हु एम्बॉडी द वैल्यूज ऑफ Pramerica Spirit of Community Awards and Community Service. So let me introduce our guest for today's Spirit Talks. The special guest joining us today is Poonam Shah. She's 23-year-old and she's been brought up in Mumbai, and she's the founder of NGO Beach Please, which is working towards resolving the problems related to plastic pollution in Mumbai. And the young student volunteers who are joining us today for the Spirit Talk are Tanisha Shroff. ये मुंबई से हैं और जब ये बीडी सुमानी इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में पढ़ती थी उस समय इन्होंने महाराष्ट्र के गांव में बीड़ी उद्योग से जुड़ी हुई महिलाओं के हालात देखे और उन्हें लगा कि उनको इन महिलाओं के लिए कुछ काम करना चाहिए एंड शी वर्क्ड टुवर्ड्स क्रिएटिंग ऑल्टरनेटिव एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर दीज वुमेन. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड अ वेरी इंस्पायरिंग स्टोरी. मिलेंगे हम तनिषा श्रॉफ से और साथ ही हमारे साथ जुड़ेंगे कोलकाता से अंजलि सुराना. ये जब कैलकाटा इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में पढ़ती थी तब इन्होंने एक नॉन प्रॉफिट की शुरुआत की जिसका नाम है फुल स्टॉप, एंड दिस इज अ नॉन प्रॉफिट दैट एम्स टू अचीव अ मोर जेंडर इक्वल वर्ल्ड. Full Stop's focus is on promoting menstrual equity through awareness, access and advocacy. तो तनीषा और अंजलि से हम बात करेंगे, लेकिन सबसे पहले स्वागत करते हैं हमारी बहुत ही खास मेहमान पूनम शाह का, फाउंडर ऑफ एनजीओ बीच प्लीज. पूनम, वेलकम टू द स्पिरिट टॉक. So Poonam, let's start by talking about your work first. Beach Please, क्या है Beach Please, कब और कैसे इसकी शुरुआत हुई? सबसे पहले तो बताइए है क्या ये?
अच्छा, so Beach Please, as the name suggests, ये कम्युनिटी है बीच रिलेटेड. सो हम एक यूथ कम्युनिटी है मुंबई में, and what we do is every weekend we go to the beaches and we clean it. So our main motive here is to eradicate plastic pollution and marine pollution from the beaches of Mumbai. We do it at the beaches, at the river banks and at the mangroves in Mumbai. And
okay, so and how did it start?
It's actually a very funny story as well as a very serious one. So I'll go way back in time. Beach Please को अब 4 साल हो चुके हैं. We started Beach Please in the year 2017 और अब we have completed around 200 weeks. So back then I used to be a college going student and we used to go for hikes. We used to go for a lot of vacations and a lot of just a normal teenager who was happily living her life. And there was this one incident that really occurred in my life that changed my perspective to a lot of things. Now I'll elaborate it. What happened is I had gone for a small vacation where I saw it was a scenic, nice adventure spot where a lot of tourism is promoted. Foreign tourists come and it's a pathway where you have to climb up and go to the hill, and there's like side mein pura khai hota hai. So what shocked me the most was वहां पे बहुत लोग आते हैं और वहां पे बहुत सारे वेंडर्स वगैरह होते हैं जैसे हर सफर होता है, and so many people buying packet food, so many people buying ice creams, candies, this, that, and everybody was eating it and throwing all those wrappers right there and then. And I mean,
it's such a common sight.
Yeah, and it's such a common sight. That's what I'm saying. It's such a common thing now in India, in Mumbai. And I feel that what's more triggering is not the fact that they're throwing, but the fact that it's not bothering them, the fact that they're okay with throwing trash like that on the road anywhere. And it was just a little disturbing to see.
And a lot of times when you try and correct them, they say mind your own business. जो लोग गंदगी करते हैं उनको बिल्कुल ऐसा भी गलती कर रहे हो.
वो हमें कहते हैं कि आप ही, अगर आपको इतना प्रॉब्लम है आप ही उठा लीजिए. So back then I was just seeing all of this and it sort of like blew my mind, but I didn't say anything. I came back, it was going out in my head, replaying. I didn't really take an action which I should have, I came back and I realized that this is a universal problem. This is not a particular tourist spot. This is not a particular hiking area. This is actually a problem with everybody, all of us. Maybe at some point of time, you, me, everybody must have done this. When we don't find dustbins, we wouldn't have kept the trash in our pockets. We would have just been so impulsive and throwing it somewhere here, there, and not realizing the fact that this does not decompose. It may take thousand
Yeah.
years or plus to actually decompose in the soil, or maybe it never did. So
Hmm.
that mere fact of the whole situation, that what will happen 20 years down the line. Imagine, because if we see so much trash right now and we say that this is so dirty, this is so ugly, these places are so beautiful, but look at all this sightseeing,
Hmm.
what is going to happen to those places and to the earth and to the country we live in 20 years down the line? So it was
True.
just a very sort of like a, I don't know, it was this one experience that I
So
got in my
wake up
life.
call
Was
or
very,
some.
it was like a wake up call. It was like, okay, this is bad and this has to change. And
And I have to be
at
the
the
change.
same, yeah, so at the same time, I was always wondering what can I do. So when I came back, I realized that if I wanted to take an action for the scenario, but what can I do as a teenager? I was not really finding a calling. I was not really understanding what sort of actions can I take. What sort of,
Hmm.
should I like go to people and tell them don't do this? Should I go to people and tell them
Hmm.
don't throw plastic here and there? Or should I
Hmm.
tell them pick it up your plastic? Or what exactly should I do? And I was just on those lines. My friends and I, we decided that let's do a cleanup on the beach, because we used to chill at the beach. Our college was very close to the beach shore, and we used to, just hang around over there for a longer time. So I called up my
Hmm.
call friends, school friends, and all of them, they were all willing to come together. And, my friend Malhar Kalambe, he was the soul of this initiative. He also made sure that he gathers all our group mates together, and we did the whole cleanup that day. And we really didn't have an intention to continue the cleanup. We just thought that we'll do it one day, and
Hmm.
beaches will become clean. And to our notice, when we came back in the evening, we did the cleanup in the morning. We came back in the evening, we saw there was trash again. And that was eye
Yeah.
opening, because we understood then the science that when the high tide comes back, the trash comes back. And this is what
That
we
comes
have
back.
done. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's when we realized that we will have to come next weekend again and clean it. And eventually we started coming every weekend, and it became sort of a routine, a hobby, like a thing that we meet our friends on weekend at the beach and we clean. So that's how Beach Please started, with a very, very innocent idea. We didn't have a plan in mind to as to what to do, but that's how it started.
Yeah, and you were only 19 when this started, right? Around 19 years old.
Yeah.
uh,
So
पूनम एक बहुत कॉमन वो होता है कि यंगस्टर्स कुछ काम करेंगे बट देन दे विल मूव ऑन इन लाइफ यू माइट गो अब्रॉड टू स्टडी या जॉब लगेगा कुछ होगा एंड फिर इस सारे काम का क्या होगा डू यू एवर गिव दिस अ थॉट कि विल बीच प्लीज कंटिन्यू
yeah, so this is something that came to our mind very frequently when we had started Beach Please, because what happens is you start with a group of 12. We were 12 school friends, including all our schoolmates. We were 12. And eventually ऐसा तो होगा नहीं कि हर cleanup पर वो 12 लोग continue आएंगे ही आएंगे. Everybody will have some or
एग्जैक्टली
the other social commitments, professional, college, school. We were all studying, so everybody has study
कॉम्पिटिशन्स की
commitments,
तैयारी कर रहेगा तो दे विल बी बिजी विद द स्टडीज
everything.
कोई बाहर चला
Yeah.
जाएगा
Our parents would be like, okay, focus now more on academics, because exams are coming near. So we always had, these problems, and we started noticing that we cannot all 12 be regularly coming for cleanups. And if this has to continue, more people have to join us. So we started pitching out to a lot of schools nearby, a lot of colleges, a lot of community groups, people in the vicinity. We started communicating with them on social media everywhere that, we're doing this activity, and if you would like to come join us in cleaning the beaches, it will be really, meaningful. And firstly, people took us as a joke because we were 19. They said it is some fun club where we do a one-time activity. We were not taken seriously for the
हाँ
longest time, I think. And later, when they saw that we're being consistent in this, and we have now eradicated so many tons of plastic garbage, and it has made change. That's when they started taking us seriously. That's when they started coming for cleanups, or joining hands in every ways possible. And yeah, so these were the biggest hurdles. As kids, we wanted them to take us seriously, and consistency was the key that we didn't want to miss out, despite of all the academic and social hurdles that we had.
So, how supportive was your family or your parents and the immediate family, neighbors, friends? कै- कैसा response था उनका? कितने supportive थे वो सब लोग?
So I have been blessed. I would say that because my parents are so proud of the fact that we're associated to Beach Please and we're the founding members of Beach Please. They would go and tell in every family function that, you know what, my child is doing this. You can also
हाँ.
join them. And I would be so happy of that fact that my parents were so open to all the ideas that we were implementing. In fact, they would even give us suggestions. And I personally feel whenever your child is doing something, parents play a huge role in sort of supporting them, and the process that a child has to go through to reach a certain result in life is minimized by the efforts of parents being supportive. So it's twice the more effort and it's twice the more hard work when you don't have the support of your parents, is what I always feel. In terms of anything, in terms of you doing a social activity or you setting a goal to win a competition or whatever, you sort of need that external motivation.
Yeah, of course.
And I have been very, very blessed to have that from my parents and the immediate relatives that come close to me, even the friends for that matter.
अच्छा पूनम एक बात बताइए, हमको पता है एनवायरनमेंट की इश्यूज क्या हैं, लिटरिंग की क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, ऑल ऑफ दैट वी नो, या बट जब आप ग्राउंड पर कोई काम शुरू करते हैं ना, तो बहुत सारे झटके भी लगते हैं हमको, यू नो, अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स हैपन दैट शॉक अस व्हाइल क्लीनिंग. जब आप ट्रैश डिस्कवर कर रहे थे, तो व्हाट वाज द, यू नो, वर देयर एनी सच इंसिडेंट्स वेयर यू वर शॉक्ड, ओ माय गॉड, ये भी हो सकता है, पीपल कुड बी दैट केयरलेस टू, ये भी ट्रैश में हो सकता है क्या? उस तरह के कोई एक्सपीरियंस अगर आप शेयर करना चाहें.
एब्सोल्युटली, आई थिंक जब तक मैंने क्लीन अप शुरू नहीं किया था, आई पर्सनली फेल्ट कि प्लास्टिक सिर्फ पेपर प्लास्टिक बैग्स होते हैं, जो हम जिसमें हम खरीदने जाते हैं, एंड व्हेन योर वेंडर्स गिव यू द प्लास्टिक बैग्स, आई ऑलवेज थॉट दैट दीज आर द प्लास्टिक बैग्स एंड दीज आर द प्लास्टिक ट्रैश. आई नेवर थॉट बियॉन्ड इट. आई थॉट कि फूड पैकेट जो हमें मिलते हैं, व्हाट फूड पैकेट्स दैट वी ईट, दे आर द प्लास्टिक ट्रैश. And zyada se zyada, there are some covers or gift wrapping papers and all these, whatever you see in the daily life. But I never thought beyond this perspective. But when I started cleaning, I realized that plastic is beyond this. We used to get diapers, sanitary napkins, condoms. We used to get medical waste, e-waste, and so much more, that the fact that plastic is actually used in so many things that we are not aware of also. And and I felt that there's so many plastic cutleries, like chai cups, coffee cups, small dishes and spoons, which can be easily avoided. The nariyal pani that you drink, you use the plastic straw. So many plastic straws you see. And once we found a casket of a turtle, and there were the plastic straws were stuck in its nose. So it was, so we've got such visuals that are really shaking, and casket of snakes, water snakes, fishes, and there was this puffer fish, I think you call it. I don't know what's the fish called. It's huge in size, and it was wrapped in a plastic bag. And these were the visuals that really disturbed me. Sometimes I feel that you can, as I said, the plastic straws that we use, you probably drink for maybe 10 seconds and it's over, but that plastic straw
Yeah.
remains on the beach forever. So these were the things that really, sort of blew me away again. And I feel that they're so easily replaceable in day-to-day life. You can have substitutes for them. You can actually absolutely avoid using them, and still be okay with it. And I remember when I found my first menstrual pad, the sanitary napkin on the beach. I came to my mom and I said, all this goes there and it cannot be decomposed. And my mom and I, we researched more on it, and we both got ourselves menstrual cups. And I remember my mom sitting and making sure I know how to put a menstrual cup and, learn it. And then she
Right.
told me, now that you have seen this, now that you have seen the fact that the sanitary napkins, this is how it, it ends up. It does not sort of decompose.
Hmm.
You're going to be
Yeah.
responsible to go and
Hmm.
influence two other of your friends, female friends, to switch to a menstrual
Hmm.
cup. That's when I realized that the
Hmm.
change does not need a huge,
Yeah,
huge
one step at a
program or
time,
something.
probably.
Yeah, you
Small
just
step.
have to have a change in one habit, and you sort of need to influence somebody else to inculcate that in your routine and regime, and you are already making a change.
Yeah, like you spoke about plastic straws. मैंने अभी आदत शुरू कर दिया. I carry a steel straw with me. And जैसे हम लोग नारियल पानी पीने जाते हैं, the guy will always give you 2 or 3 straws, and I always give them back to him. I said, भाई हमको plastic straw नहीं चाहिए. So either get the coconut home and glass में निकाल के पी लो, या अगर आप if you're on the move, just carry a steel straw. इतनी मतलब पतला सा
Yeah,
होता है, just keep it in your bag and use it. So I think, and post COVID, in fact, Poonam, masks का disposal is such a big environmental hazard now. क्योंकि आप कहीं पर भी जाइए, आपको आप देख रहे हैं लोग इतनी केयरलेसली मास्क फेंक देते हैं. एंड आई वाज रीडिंग समवेयर कि उसकी जो इलास्टिक होती है वो भी बहुत स्पेशली फॉर द बर्ड्स, इट्स क्रिएटिंग अ प्रॉब्लम. तो हमको थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि जब मास्क अगर डिस्पोज भी करें तो उसकी इलास्टिक वाला पार्ट काट दें. सो आई रेड दैट समवेयर.
I think
ओके सो
after COVID ends, you know what I think, Richa, after COVID ends, we are going to get into a plastic syndrome or a plastic pandemic, because
some emergency, yeah, will be created. Environment emergency probably. Yeah. So,
yeah.
so last question to you before I go to our student volunteers. Poonam, बहुत सारे लोग ना इस तरह की बात करते हैं. हर जनरेशन एक्चुअली आने वाली जनरेशन के लिए कहती है कि हम बहुत सीरियस थे, आजकल के बच्चे तो बहुत नॉन सीरियस हैं अबाउट सोशल इश्यूज और व्हाटएवर, यू नो. तो आपको क्या लगता है, आपकी एज के, आपकी जो जनरेशन है, not talking about you, but does this generation really care about social, environmental, other issues? Yeah, bas, party and your own career, your studies is all that matters.
So there is something that I've actually observed. Now I'll give you an example, and then we'll come back to this question. So basically, I do a lot of we go to schools and colleges, and we share our experiences about what we find on the beach, and about how you can eradicate, or you can, the 5 Rs, how you can reduce and reuse and repurpose plastic rather than just throwing it and adding it to a plastic landfill trash. So the sort of enthusiasm these teenagers and school students give me, I feel that the generation, not me, not my generation, but the coming generation, is more well versed, because in terms of them having access to technology, them having access to internet, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि वो ज़्यादा they are open to accepting what is happening in the world, and they're more open to also understanding. Because I had explained an entire theory of plastic pollution to kids in a webinar one day, and their mother the next day messaged me saying that my son is wanting to adapt a plastic free lifestyle, and he has already replaced 1, 2, 3, 4 things to eco-friendly options. So that makes me feel that exactly makes me feel that even with regards to our generation, I feel that education is the key to any sort of change. And if you sort of if they understand, if they are educated, if they are open to learning the aspects of climate change and climate crisis that we are going to face, or we are facing already, I feel that the necessary steps are taken by people. It's just that we have to reach to people and make them aware of the situation. But I do
So
see
reach the
quite a lot of.
youngsters, reach the Gen Next, yeah. ओके, सो ऑन दैट नोट पूनम, मुझे लगता है बिल्कुल सही वक्त है हम अपने स्टूडेंट वॉलंटियर्स से आपको मिलवा देते हैं और उनके बहुत अच्छे काम के बारे में जानते हैं. एज यू सेड, दे आर द काइंड ऑफ स्टूडेंट वॉलंटियर्स हु आर लीडिंग द चेंज. सो हमारे साथ जुड़ रही हैं तनीषा श्रॉफ. तनीषा जब मुंबई के बीडी सुमानी इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में पढ़ रही थी, दैट वाज द टाइम व्हेन शी क्रिएटेड एन अल्टरनेटिव एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर विमेन बीडी रोलर्स इन अ विलेज इन महाराष्ट्र. रियली वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. जानना चाहेंगे हम क्यों उन्होंने ये किया, कैसे किया. एंड अ सेकंड स्टूडेंट वॉलंटियर इज अंजलि सुराना. शी इज जस्ट पास्ड आउट फ्रॉम कैलकाटा इंटरनेशनल स्कूल कोलकाता, एंड शी हैज फाउंडेड फुल स्टॉप, एक नॉन प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है दैट एम्स टू अचीव अ मोर जेंडर इक्वल वर्ल्ड. अगेन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. एंड what is very interesting today is कि आज हम You know, they're all four women in this conversation. So welcome, Tanisha and Anjali.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much.
So Tanisha, आपके काम के बारे में पढ़ रही थी, you know, working with women बीड़ी rollers in a village in Maharashtra. So sounds very interesting, but लगता है कि you know मुंबई में पढ़ रही एक लड़की गांव कब गई होगी and कैसे women बीड़ी rollers ने उसका attention लिया होगा. So what's the story behind your work and what exactly did you do with those women?
Sure. So it's actually a very interesting story. My grandfather was born and brought up in this village named in this town in Maharashtra, in the interior parts of Maharashtra called Solapur. And I used to go there very often every weekend to like just spend time with family and everything. And he used to work there. And on one of my trips with him on the train, and he took me to one of the more interior parts, the rural areas of Solapur, because now it's a developed city. And he just was working there. He's a lot into non-governmental organizations, and he leads a lot of community projects himself. And I was only, I think, 15 or 16 that time. And I saw children my age and girls not going to school with their mothers in those kashti saris on their lap. And they used to sit and roll cigarettes, like fully with their eyes burning and their eyes watering and full hunchback karke. They were sitting and rolling. And I came back home from that village and I burst into tears. And I was like, ye kya ho raha hai? Like, they need to study. There's no proper sanitation. They're coughing away. Their moms are encouraging them doing this. And I was like perplexed. I said, ये क्या कुछ भी solution निकालना चाहिए इस problem के बारे में. So I researched a lot about this BD, the harmful effects, everything. And then I realized कि if they have such good like hand finer motor skills or like, you know, the delicate gestures and all of that to help them increase their profitability in terms of BD, which is the cigarette, which is an unhealthy, unsustainable form of income. Why can't they re-talent themselves and try and educate them to sew garments? Because all women know how to sew and can make clothes, and that's sui dhaga, like everyone knows how to do. So I got in touch with different garment manufacturers in Solapur. So actually for 2 months, I took off from school and I said, I want to do this somehow or the other, make an impact at least one girl there, because it used to bother me. So then I spoke to them. I was like, can you get your team to come here, teach them? But obviously change is very difficult because they were hesitant. They've been doing this all their life. There was cheap labor available. They used to get good like daily wages. So to actually had to restructure their whole thinking ki what you're doing is bad for you, you know, asthma, bronchitis. So I had to do research, give them like shocking data, explain them ki this is not what you want to see yourself doing in the future. So lot of hurdles in the beginning were talking in Marathi because my mother tongue is Marathi. So appealing to them, sitting with them, understanding them, actually like just rewiring their thinking. Yeah, so honestly, it took a while because it was a lot of like teaching, lot of unlearning, learning. And the main thing then after they developed these skills was to make a model out of this. So we installed 10 sewing machines in that one small village first. And then later, seeing 5, 6 girls change their profession from BD rolling to sewing, more girls joined. So we had to install more sewing machines. And all of that kind of had that trickle down effect because the mothers also were happy. And this kind of was a sustained form of income because there was a buyback period that we gave from the garment manufacturer. So they sold the clothes at a fee to them. So it kind of became a whole corporate model. And what I mean by that was, it was, as we rightly said, कि, you know, लोग project करते हैं फिर जाते हैं, and then the project stays there and nothing goes in the future. So
Yeah.
literally, my goal was to make it self-sustainable, viable, and scalable for these women. So
Yeah,
what
so
I
that
meant
even if
by
you move on in life with your studies and
exactly,
career and all, उनका नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए.
exactly, and give them that secure livelihood, because with the whole demonetization or sub which happened in 2016, there was suicides also that took place because they were relying on cheap labor and cheap wages. So this kind of,
Hmm.
I wanted to give them that security. So that was how everything started and
It's
went
started.
on.
I'll ask you more about the journey, but Anjali के
Sure.
पास चलते हैं. Anjali, tell us about Full Stop. What are you trying to put a full stop to?
We are trying to put a full stop to menstrual inequity. Full Stop is a Gen Z-led movement that's trying to change the way that periods are perceived by society. I'll tell you a little about my inspiration, how I got started. I think that I've been a feminist for long before I knew a word such as feminism even existed. Um, and feminism, equality, it always seemed like common sense to me. But as I started growing up, I realized that what seemed like common sense to me was not as common as I had hoped for. So that's when I started looking for opportunities around me. I never thought I was going to start a nonprofit. I just wanted to volunteer and contribute to a cause. I think I was around like 14 or 15 then. So I think I reached out to around 8 or 9 NGOs in Calcutta, and I asked them if I could volunteer, and every single one of them, for maybe understandable reasons, said no. So for
They didn't
me,
take you seriously.
no, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's understandable to some extent.
Yeah, true.
So for me, it was just about when I couldn't find a seat at the table, I just decided to make my own table. And as for why specifically menstrual inequity, I don't think I can pin it down to one particular incident where I was like, okay, now I got to do this. But there were just so many instances around me. I think for 4 years, I used the same brand of sanitary pads, and I became conditioned to do exactly that. When I needed a pad, I whispered. When I got unbearable period cramps, I whispered. Did I raise my voice? No, I whispered. And I it took me some time to realize that this problem was a lot beyond me, and my problems, although extremely valid, were extremely privileged, right? Like for me, it was just as bad as period cramps, but then I started reading like statistics, and I also firsthand saw menstruators who did not have access to menstrual products at all, and they were using alternatives such as newspapers and rags and socks. And that's when I got like really passionate about the issue. I was like, I might not have a full plan, but let me just try to do something. That's when I started Full Stop. We are now functioning under 3 pillars of access, awareness, and advocacy. So, as for access, we're trying to distribute reusable cloth pads to underserved menstruators in communities across India. As for awareness, we create and host menstrual hygiene management awareness sessions in those same marginalized communities to teach them about menstrual health and hygiene practices, as well as for advocacy, we want to create more structural changes, because I think as an NGO alone, or any NGO, there's only so much you can do, and you need more like structural macro changes in policy, in awareness, in the spotlight that these issue gets. So we're trying to do on and offline activations just to normalize this topic and make sure it's as normal as talking about last night's dinner.
Wow. Poonam, it's so amazing to hear these very young girls. And as I keep saying, कि, normally is age में हम सोचेंगे कि, youngster would think about their studies, career, parties, friends and all. But to think of such serious issues and to be able to actually make a change, that's so wonderful. Do you want to ask them anything?
Yes, I firstly, let's acknowledge the fact that they've done this in a very young age, and I can only imagine how, how great a community service would be, and the amount of change they're going to make as and when they grow older. So I can only imagine that. I mean, it's wonderful, and kudos to both of them. And also coming to Tanisha, I think when you give employment to somebody, you sort of give them the purchasing power. I mean, if there's only one bread earner in the family and it has a job security, and there's so many lives dependent on that one person, you are sort of uplifting so many people's life in that family via giving a person a job security. So kudos to the whole plan that's so well drawn, sustainable, and it's a whole perfect cycle. I feel. Coming to Anjali, I think what she said is so appropriate because when I was a teenager, I would whisper. I would really do that. And, I would wonder why we had to do it. As in, when I grew, I think I absolutely don't whisper. And I'm like, listen, can you please help me with this? Because I think every woman has to own up to it. And why not? Because this is how we're made. And I think we're fabulous this way. And somebody
But
had to
imagine
voice
women
this
across
out loud.
generations have been whispering. Women across generations, our mothers,
Yes.
grandmothers, they've been whispering. Yeah.
So Anjali, I think kudos, because you're breaking the chain of generations. So, and
Yeah.
the fact that you're, giving access to people to having cloth sanitary napkins is so important because I have actually seen this, in the rural areas where my interiors, my maternal side are, and sometimes when I go and visit and I see the situation, I feel that despite of us progressing in the nation-wise, the rurals are still, a little falling behind and not getting access to the main essentials of lifestyle. And I think this is a great initiative, and I'm so proud, honestly, in this room full of girls, a lot, so much girl power, and so much of these youngsters making change. I think it's amazing. Kudos to you, girls.
Yeah. तनीषा, आपने जब काम शुरू किया, सो कितना मुश्किल था आसपास के लोगों को भी समझाना what you were trying to do? And this is one question I ask all the time because your family and friends don't take you seriously कि अरे अभी क्या कर रहे हो? And कई बार क्या होता है जिसके लिए आप काम करना चाहते हो वो भी आपको सीरियसली नहीं लेता. गांव की लेडीज को भी लगेगा अरे क्या बच्ची है, आज आई है कल नहीं आएगी, हमारा ये सब काम खराब कर देगी and then she'll disappear. So how difficult it is to make people understand, no, you're serious about what you're trying to do.
So honestly, it was very difficult, and single-handedly at the age of 15, 16, the obvious response was, "Bachchi kya kahegi?" Like, what does she know? So actually, I got in touch with, in that village, you know how they have the Jilla Parishad, which is the local government bodies of these villages. And I spoke to them about it. And actually, with the greatness of technology that we're blessed with in our generation, I could actually show them presentations, and through the Jilla Parishad and through the garment manufacturers and everyone, we showed them, like, I produced a couple of short films so they could see the effect of it. And I actually got a doctor also from the Solapur city to the village to actually do like a lung check for all of them to show and to empirically give them evidence ki, is this what lifestyle
how damaging it is.
and exactly. And then with the statistics, and then I also gave some leaflets and all of that. So lot of awareness, lot of hiccups in the middle, because getting in touch with not only their and appealing to their hearts and satisfying them, but also different levels of organization. So it's actually taught me how to interact with different kinds of people from different backgrounds and different like whereabouts. So yeah,
And it's not easy.
not at all, but yeah, it worked out. It is working. So it's a life skill, and I continually aim to develop in it. Yes.
So, अंजलि, आपसे मैं जानना चाहूंगी, जब हम कोई काम करते हैं, so there has to be a way to measure the impact. Yeah. So कभी आप जब सोचते हैं कि अच्छा मैंने क्या काम किया, कितना अच्छा किया या नहीं कर पाई, where have I failed? Can you measure your impact of Full Stop?
Yes, of course. I think that's a great question. Today, Full Stop is an organization with over 120 youth volunteers. Because, like I said, I didn't have opportunities to volunteer or contribute to causes I was passionate about. So one of my primary aims with Full Stop was also creating these opportunities for people like me. So we're over 120 youth volunteers from across the globe. We've distributed over 1.2 million period products in underserved communities in India. We've held awareness sessions with over 9,000 menstruators. We've conducted CSR projects for over 4 Fortune 500 companies. So all of these, like the data is there. But what I really value the most is qualitative impact. I think when I step into a session and in the beginning, I'm just like, hey, everyone, I'm Anjali Sarana. I want to talk to you about periods today. Everyone's like looking down at the floor. They're like giggling, they're shy. It's like a really stigmatized environment. But at the end, they're a lot more comfortable and they're talking about periods and they're asking me questions like, ladko ko periods kyun nahi hota hai? So when I just see that change in a span of like 2 hours, I think that for me is the moment I know that whatever I'm doing, like I know I can't change the whole world, but I can change the world around me in some small part. And I think that is what gives me that sort of fulfillment or the motivation to keep going. One thing I love about Gen Z or like young people in general is our ability to identify small yet ample ways of creating change that we experience on a daily basis, right? And I don't think we make change making that complex. If you look at anything around the world, if you look at like Hong Kong airport protests or France's Yellow Vest movement, or if you look at the Me Too movement, I think Gen Z is at the forefront of all of these social issues. And I think that's because of our ability to stay awake, to adapt, and to face the challenge of change, right? I think a lot of people have already mentioned this. Gen Z is social media natives, right? We're digital natives, so we know how to sort of use social media to create social impact. And I feel like we're really able to capitalize on this new era of influence and redefine how change making takes place.
Yeah, but here I will give you a older generation point of view also. कई बार ये लगता है कि ये generation ज़्यादा time और ज़्यादा effort social media पर लगा रही है rather than being on the ground, है ना? बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि यही काम करना था. In fact there's a joke कि अगर हमारे freedom struggle के समय social media होता तो हम सब freedom fighters social media पर होते. So tell us a little about your work. Have you worked with the lesser privileged women about menstrual awareness, hygiene, all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said,
there a lot of work needs to be done, especially the hygiene part. बहुत ज़रूरत है उनको हमारी.
So when I talk about online influence, we use social media just to amplify our work, reach more donors, reach more volunteers, reach more potential funding sources. But all of our work takes place online, and all of our work is we don't outsource it. Like all of it is done by our volunteers on ground. So the 1.2 million period products that we've distributed has all taken place through Full Stop's donation drives that's done in rural and underserved communities in India that we've identified in tandem with local governmental organizations, as well as other organizations and NGOs working on the field. And the awareness sessions that we do, we've created it in tandem with gynecologists and other experts who've, helped us frame the entire educational modules, like what should we be talking about, what needs to be covered, what is factually correct and not, because there's so many myths and superstitions that surround a topic such as menstrual health. And all of those sessions, we've trained our volunteers in those sessions, so they're now trained and they know how to conduct these sessions, and all of them are done again in those lesser privileged and lesser fortunate and lesser served communities in India. Yeah.
Great. Chalo, so Tanisha and Anjali, now tell us about your journey with Pramerica Spirit of Community Awards. Let's come to the awards part, and because we really want a lot of other student volunteers to apply for the awards next year. और हम चाहते हैं कि और बहुत सारे आप जैसे young students को हम acknowledge कर पाएं, honor कर पाएं, through the awards. So tell us about that journey, Tanisha.
Sure. So my Pramerica Spirit of Community Awards was actually in 2019 when I won the silver medal. So I found out about the awards through one of my other friends who actually participated in the awards. And she told me by chance, like 1 week before the whole award, like the form coming out and getting released, she was just like, you've been doing this project, because I'm someone who, mujhe, like personally, social service, I feel like if the more you keep it to yourself and you do it on your own, it's like your work does the talking. You don't need to do the talking, So I was just like, no, like, it's fine. I like to keep it. And I've made an impact bus now, enough. And she's like, no, just try. It's fine. Like, I'll help you, will boost your confidence and motivate you in some way. So I was like, okay, chalo, show me the form. So she sat with me and she was like, okay, we'll fill it together and all. And it was very easily structured and everything. And I said, chalo, we'll submit it. Now, whatever has to happen will happen. But I'm just very happy with what I've done. And then, yeah, after I think a few weeks, I got those signatures and all from the school, and you had that little formal requirement, and it was very seamless. And then I got a call saying, and an email saying you got one of the silver medalists, you're invited to Delhi, and for the then when there was no COVID and everything, so they had nicely organized everything, and it was a great journey, I think. Very, and something that everyone should participate in. I was hesitant for sure before, but I think many of my friends and people who are also younger than me now, the point is, it's not something I really like, but everyone's like, for your resume or for university or something like that, this is an add on to that. So I'm not going to endorse doing just the Pramerica Spirit of Community Awards to add an additional layer for your CV. I think it just gives you the confidence because you have a panelist of, again, those 10 judges that ask you
I
questions.
remember being on the jury for you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of it gives you confidence in your own project, and it makes you feel like there's everyone who's trying to make a difference, and it's not a competition of who's doing better or who's getting the gold medal at the end. All of us are making a change, and even if you make a change to one person, that's my like mantra in my life, that if you give that one random act of kindness to anyone, be it your staff at home or your father, and that itself is an award for me.
Yeah, great. Anjali, tell us about your journey and how do you want to spread the message that most student volunteers should apply for the awards?
So I was a 2021 Gold Awardee. And I think I resonate with what Tanisha said. And we've been talking about how to sustain your nonprofit movement, organization, whatever it is. I'm at Stanford right now, but I feel like over these past 2 months, I've spent more time on Full Stop than I have like ever before. So it's really possible. It's just about how dedicated you are. But that said, even if you're not able to continue it for whatever reasons, not everyone has the privilege of time. Time itself is a privilege. That's okay. Whatever little you can do, that's great. As for the award, apply for it. I used to feel really guilty about applying for awards because I was like, I'm not doing this. It was coming from a very genuine place. But that said, I do recognize that these things, help you build credibility, meet amazing people like you three here, right? I don't think I would have been on this call with the three of you or like met other, fellow awardees if I hadn't applied for the award. So it's great for building a community. It's great for building some credibility. It's also feels good. It does. Definitely, it's great. It's always great. Yeah. Also, like, got a cash award that I sort of invested into Full Stop to expand our efforts, which was great as well. So
बिल्कुल मेरा भी मानना है कि भले ही काम तो आप पहले से कर ही रहे हैं, जो भी कम्युनिटी सर्विस आप कर रहे हैं वो तो आप पहले से कर रहे हैं और आप अवार्ड के लिए नहीं कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अवार्ड मिलने से एक जो सम्मान मिलता है, अपार्ट फ्रॉम द मनी एंड मेडल्स एंड उसके साथ जो एक रिकग्निशन मिलती है, उसको लोग भी वैल्यू करते हैं. सो आई थिंक उसके लिए हेजिटेट नहीं करना चाहिए. पूनम, आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगी उस सारे लोगों को जो ये हमारा कॉन्वर्सेशन सुन रहे हैं?
The fact that if you have the privilege and the knowledge to make a change, it is our responsibility to reach out to people who don't have the sources or are underprivileged to sort of deliver that knowledge or pass on to them so that they can uplift themselves. And I think what Pramerica does is, it sort of gives you a platform to voice your opinions and to voice the work you have done so that people can get inspired by you and people who need help can reach out to you. So I think it's connecting so many audiences together. And I would say, girls, you all are doing so amazing. You all should absolutely take, participate in all these stages of life and voice your opinions and the doings that you all are doing so far, and promote them, because there's so many people who get inspired by y'all, and there's so many people who sort of want to walk at the same path. Your stories are inspirational, they are connecting. I can only imagine she taking 2 months of breaks from studying and doing so much. It's just so connecting. I know how difficult it is for a student to take 2 months of break, and for her, for Tanisha, for Anjali to, you know, sort of go to the rural areas and explain them about how to use a menstrual pad, and you know, how to reuse it. I think it is incredible, and I am so thankful that we have a stage like Pramerica who voices all of this. So kudos to Pramerica Awards and the Spirit Awards.
Chale, so on this note, I really want to request all of you, all three of you also, and everyone who's watching this show, अगर आप किसी भी स्टूडेंट वॉलंटियर को, किसी यंगस्टर को ऐसे जानते हैं जो कम्युनिटी सर्विस कर रहे हैं, किसी भी तरह से समाज में एक बेहतर बदलाव लाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो प्लीज उनको सलाह दीजिए, उनको एडवाइस कीजिए कि वो प्रिमेरिका स्पिरिट ऑफ कम्युनिटी अवार्ड्स 2022 के लिए अप्लाई करें। और मैं बता देती हूँ कैसे अप्लाई करना है। www.spiritofcommunityindia.com spiritofcommunityindia.com इस वेबसाइट पर जाना है और यहाँ पर उनको अप्लाई करना है। और मैं यहाँ बताना चाहती हूँ कि प्रिमेरिका स्पिरिट ऑफ कम्युनिटी अवार्ड्स के पिछले 11 साल के सफर में करीब 50,000 स्टूडेंट्स इस सफर का हिस्सा बने हैं और बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को ऑनर किया गया है, उनको रिवॉर्ड किया गया है। और इस साल जो एप्लीकेशंस हम इनवाइट कर रहे हैं उसमें 2 नेशनल विनर्स को 3.5 लाख रुपए पर स्टूडेंट की स्कॉलरशिप दी जाएगी। उसके अलावा मेडल्स हैं, सर्टिफिकेट्स हैं, और सबसे ऊपर, इन सबसे ऊपर जो होता है सम्मान, that honor, that recognition that inspires you for life to keep keep on with your good work and keep making that small change that the world wants to see. तो मैं चाहूंगी बहुत सारे student volunteers को आप लोग please spread the word so that more and more student volunteers apply for these awards. And thank you all three of you for doing such wonderful work for the community and joining us for the session.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Richa. Thank you.